nerds, this is Pam coming to you from Stationery Nerd. Today we're going to look at the markings by C.R. Gibson, and they're calling it the Bulleting Log Journal. So let's get into it and take a look and see what's inside. I picked this notebook up at Office Depot, and I was just browsing for something. I think I was there for something that I needed to pick up for work, and came across it, and of course I needed to own it immediately. But it's a unique journal. There are 240 grid pages. So I'm just going to bring this up for you. There is, it is an undated journal page, and it comes with a cool pocket in the back, and in that pocket is a stencil, ruler, page finder. I think I kind of bent that. Oops. But anyway, that has various shapes on it, but then it also has measuring on one side, and that is in inches. I was not able to find this anywhere other than the Office Depot website, so I'm going to, I've got that linked in the main review, but let's take a look at some of the specs. So this is my spreadsheet that's got all the specs, and you can download one for yourself, and it is available at the website at stationarynerd.com/journals, and that's where I have the review of more than 30 different bullet journal notebooks that I've reviewed, and I have this spreadsheet that you can download for free on the website. It is 4 pages long and includes all of the specs for all the notebooks that I've done. So Markings Bulleting Log Journal. I paid $10 for it, and it measures 8.5 by 6, which is slightly larger than an A5, and let's just measure that so you can see the difference. I've got my Leuchtturm 1917 here. I'm just going to line up the corner here. So slightly larger by about 1/4 inch on the bottom, 1/4 inch on the top. So it's very close, just a little bit bigger. It is gray. I haven't seen it in any other color but gray, and then the edge of the pages are all red, which goes with the elastic band that comes in there too. This elastic band is good. It's just tight enough. It's not too loose, it's not too tight, so I'm impressed. On the inside, I'm going to take this band off so you can see this. Maybe I'm going to take this band off. So on the inside, you have place for your contact information and emergency contact as well. But then also you've got just a calendar reference page. So 2017, 18, 19, and 20. And I did buy this in 17, like at the end of 1917 or 2017. So that made sense at the time that I bought it. I'm sure that if you were to get it now, it would be a different configuration. So the paper in this journal is ivory in shade, but then each of the pages have a grid pattern, and at the top you have a place to write the date, and then a place to mark the month and day of the year. So you circle January and you circle the 3 for January 3rd. You can write the day here, or you can skip all that together and just write everything there. And then there's a line, and then you have a grid, a square grid, and then you've got a place at the bottom to write a page number. So let's measure this grid and see what we've got. Let's see. This is, I am seeing 5 millimeter, maybe 6 millimeter, but it's basically 5. Let's go 6. Let's just call it 6, okay? 6 millimeter squares on that. It does come with 3 bookmarks. Looks like one is white And then the other one is a slightly lighter shade of gray and then a darker shade of gray. So varying shades. They are different. The light gray and the white one look almost identical, but I don't believe they were meant to be that way. So then I'm going to switch back here to this front. I kind of hate it when journals do this. So if you're a journal maker and you do this at the front of your book, just stop it. Make it a pull-out thing that you can remove. I don't need instructions on how to use my journal to be in my journal the entire time that I'm using it. If it were a loose leaf piece of paper with instructions, then that would be awesome. I would be fine with that. I don't want you to ruin one of my pages with this weird instruction thing. All right, so in the back you're going to have their branding, and then you've got conversion charts and also the time zone map for the United States. And then down here we have the time zone map for you. And then I think, yeah, you've just got a blank page here for important notes. So let's take a look at the color compared to some of the other things that we already know about. And we have a pounce. Okay, so this is billed as an ivory paper, and you can see the shade difference on this with just a plain white piece of copy paper. That's about the whitest that you're going to have of any examples. So that gives you an idea of how white it is. We have a cat again. Maybe she's just going to sit there. Okay, so then this is the Leuchtturm 1917, so you can see the difference in color. This is usually a very yellowy ivory color, and you can see that this is even darker than the Leuchtturm. And then we have a Scribbles That Matter, and this is more in the white family, and you can see the difference when you're holding those together to see where the bulleting journal, what's it called? Bulleting Log Journal, jeez, where that color falls in the spectrum. So let's take a look at the pen test. This is where things fall apart. I know that this is a journal that's really designed more for the business person, especially since I founded it at Office Depot and nowhere else. You're expecting that this is something that you would see an executive carry around. And it is very professional looking. The cover is a soft, I don't know if it's real leather or faux leather. Let's see if I have a note on here. The cover is, I say leatherette, and it is gray. I'm not sure if it's real leather or fake, but it's definitely, it's got that same feel as like the Scribbles That Matter cover. So if that gives you any idea of what that feeling is. She's being a cat. All right. Okay, let's take a look at the pen test. And I'm not going to go over all the pens that I used, but here is the variety that I have chosen. I picked two highlighters. These are the liquid Sharpie highlighters, and I chose those because those are probably the wettest highlighters that I had. And then also just a variety of black pens. I'm not going to go over all of them here. I'll list them all below in the description, but I really just grabbed all black and a variety of different types. So let's get into it and take a look and see how this paper fared. Okay, so not too bad actually. The Pilot Varsity fountain pen has a little bit of feathering there. I'm going to hold that up close so you can see that. It's not terrible. but it's a little bit there. And then also the Bic 730R. Those are the two that we always have problems with, just because those are really the wettest pens that I have in this test. And then I also tried a ballpoint pen down here at the bottom. So the front side looks fine. The back side is where we have the problems. So I believe this paper is very similar to what you get in a Moleskine journal, which comes in at about 70 GSM. And I don't know, maybe it's a little bit heavier than 70, but you can see that we definitely have problems with the fountain pen bleeding through. We have bleed through on the entire line of writing. And then also a little bit of bleed through here on the Bic. And then also the Ink R2 Rollerball also has some bleed through. Tiny bit of bleed through also on the highlighters. So where we don't have very many problems is up here at the top with these top 3, maybe 4. So that is the Sharpie pens and then also the Papermate Flair pens. Those seem to be okay. I would probably err on the side of the Sharpie pens, but then also look down here. The ballpoint pen, no problem whatsoever. So definitely a great book if you need something that is a square grid and also has this date option at the top. But you're going to have to be very choosy with what kinds of pen you're going to use. So ballpoint or the Sharpie are probably going to be your best. I bet you that Micron. Did I look at that Micron? Micron is also pretty good. And then I bet you this Pilot Extra Fine is good too. Yeah, so anything that's got a fine tip and it's not a super wet ink are going to be great on this paper. But anything that has a wet ink you're going to have a problem with. So overall, kind of a cool option, and kind of cool that you can find it at Office Depot. So just to remind you, take a look at the website, grab the spreadsheet so that you can take a look at all the specs, but then also the review on all of these journals that I've done are there, including photos and a written description of my review. So the Markings Bullet Log Journal, not a bad option, especially for the office. And let me know. Have you seen this at your Office Depot? Have you tried it? Is it something that you recommend? And tell me what you like about it. Anyway, until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.